people, welcome to another edition of the Finger Tapping Frenzy that we all know and love as WWE SuperCard with me, Big Jim, here at BadLadDad HQ. Bit of a difference in today's vid because I'm going to have a look at how I'm doing with the old Ring Dobby Dim Dom, but also going to open a couple of those ridiculous packs that you get nothing from. You'll know what I mean as soon as I get into them. But also, more importantly, I asked you in the last video if you've got any questions. Just put Ask Jim and bang your question down. Quite a few of you have put some questions down, so I thought I better answer them. I asked for them. You've been good enough to ask the questions, so I'd better answer them. And if you guys like the feature, because of course it's the chance to get your name shouted out on the video as well, let me know in the comments down below on this video, and I might make it a regular feature, maybe every Friday evening or something. So just bear that in mind when we get to it. Now, for starters, I've got some good news. I've got some more good news. It's been an incredible week for me in the realms of WWE SuperCard. And I've picked up my iPad. I did pre-record this. You know, you can now record screen on your iPad. I was opening my Team Battleground rewards yesterday, and I was doing it with Ninja Boy, and he got a couple of monsters and a beast, which wasn't much use to him. But I opened mine, and I got Eddie Guerrero, which is not just a great card to have, it is a pro. So I've just been, while I've been talking there, I've just been showing you what happened from the pre-recording bit I did, and now I'll get back on to live, this is live, and to my cards, and just go into combinable. I'm already there, it's quite handy. And as you can see, so I've got Miz from the team event, which we had the other day. There's Eddie Guerrero, and I've got some monsters now. There's a bit of a giveaway there that I've already made a good start on Ring Dobby Dim Dom, because I've got Monster Macho Man, oh yeah! And of course I've got my two lasses to do as well, Natalia and Charlotte. So it's a shame it's not a Road to Glory this week, because I could get them levelled up doing that. And unfortunately Ring Dom excludes the girls. I don't know why the girls have been excluded. In this day and age, you'd think the girls could be included, wouldn't you? But they've not been. So yeah, I've got a lot to power up there, but that's going to give me four Titan Pros in my deck editor, and Charlotte will come in and replace Nia Jax there in the female section as well. So surely that means I'm going to be in the realms of Titan plus, which is good news. Good news for me. Now I'm just looking at. So I've got my MacBook's over there, I've got a computer screen over there, I've got a light shining my face up here, so I'm looking all over the place. Just looking at the various decks here, with my Ring Dobby Dim Dom, what I'm obviously doing is trying to power up my Eddie and my Miz, and the others, I'm just obviously trying to win a few matches. But I've done okay. I'll just go into the Stone Cold Steve Austin event. You'll see I've just got the first few shards out of the Titan card, which is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, which is a single, but as I've said before, and I'll say it again, a Titan is a Titan is a Titan. But now then, these packs I was on about. Well, it's the daily reward packs. They're a bunch of useless things. But as you can see, I've got 39 tickets. I'm really not bothering with these right now. I'm just, if I do what's required, I just will collect them. I'll collect the tickets. But to be quite honest, I'm just not making much of an effort to actually fulfil all the requirements. And I'm pretty sure most of you are the same as well, because the rewards you get are naff to the highest degree. Anyway, having said all of that, let's do it. Let's open a 25 Grand Challenge reward. One superstar, Elite to Titan. Yeah, right. One male, Elite to Monster. Yeah, two enhancements, right. So, which two Elite cards am I going to get today? Let's have a look. And I'm going to get Ultimate Jim Uso, and an Ultimate Toughness, and an Elite John Cena. Okay. No surprises there, really, was that? And the 10-pack, Elite to Monster. So what do we reckon? Ultimate Jimmy Uso? Who knows? Let's have a look, see what we've got. They really are a nonsense, these, aren't they? They really are an absolute nonsense. Okay, Ultimate is still the best card. I have to say, Ninja Boy did get a monster from one of his 10 ticket packs. So I have seen somebody very close to home, have a mild success there. But it's not great, is it? It's not great. All right, I don't have anything else to collect right now, so I'm just going to go to Ringdom. But before I turn that on, before I play that, I'm going to go on to some of your questions. Some of your questions. I've printed them out, so I'll just have a look. I was going to play along. I suppose I could start playing along, couldn't I? And try and answer the questions at the same time. So Glenn Cornwall has asked, I was just wondering whether there's a report button on WWE SuperCard. Has there been someone on our team who's been insulting my teammates? Well, the first thing I would do is kick that person off your team. But if you're not running the team, I would have a word with the person who is running the team and just say, look, you know, what's going on here? Can't be having that. There isn't a specific button. Actually, I should have thought about that because I could have shown you on here. If you go to the coggy wheel thing on the top left of your game, which isn't shown right now because I'm in the middle, obviously, of playing a game, there is a feedback section. If you press on that, most of it is just asking you for feedback on events and things, but there is like a general suggestions button. I would, as a general suggestion, I would go on there, tap on that, and that'll give you an automatic email, and you can then just state who it is who's causing the problems. But just, you know, if it's just a little bit of silliness and nothing too personal, don't get involved with reporting people just for the sake of it. If it's something that can be resolved in just having a little email chat or even just a chat in game, then fine. But if it's someone who's continually doing it and is being abusive and is not being a nice person at all, then, as I say, I would speak to the person who's running the team and just kick them out and get someone better in. Let's face it, there's enough people out there playing this game that you should be able to find yourself 10 people who can get on eventually. Now, who else have we got? Xander Clements is asked Jim one of my predictions for Season 5. Xander, we've only just got into Season 4. What are you playing at, man? Well, what I would like to see in Season 5 is no bugs and no glitches, which is a pipe dream. You're dreaming, Jim. You're dreaming, Big Jim. It's never going to happen. Yeah, at least try and get what we've got right now in Season 4 working. In general, if I was allowed to come up with a big suggestion of something that I would like to see, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, some kind of trading system. Now, whether that means you can trade with other players and you can swap cards, or perhaps some kind of fusion where you could swap 2 of the top tier for 1 top tier of your choice. There's plenty of games like this Walking Dead Road Survival that I play where you can ascend characters from level 5 to level 6, but you have to burn off a certain amount of existing characters to do that. Well, I'm sure if we had a chance to get a Titan card that would give us a pro, you'd be quite happy to donate 2 or 3 other Titans to get that specific one you need. Or maybe not. Maybe you disagree with me. I don't know. Let me know down below. But yeah, some sort of trading, whether it's trading with other players, because I could certainly give Ninja Boy a helping hand with a few cards. And also, we've said before, too, seeing images. Just like to get hold of some of those old images. Now, I know some people say, well, you should have played the game or you should have played that specific event to get that certain image. But, now, I've been around since Season 1, but some people didn't join in until Season 2, Season 3, or even Season 4 that we're in now. So they weren't around to have a chance to get those images. So it would be nice, just for the game as well, see some different faces knocking about. Right, else we've got Elite Gamers. 2 questions. Was the grind through Ultimate Tier tough? And any tips for a lower tier player? Ultimate Tier seems such a long time ago, Elite Gamers. I really can't remember. I don't think it was that particularly tough. What I would say, the second account that I've got on here that I created in Season 1, it was actually created for me because it was something that happened automatically going through Facebook. If you see an account that the username is a lowercase n and then the name of an old wrestler, that tends to have been an automatically generated account through Facebook. I don't know why it didn't let you name it yourself. But I've got an account, Nkyoko. Now that's what's he in now? It's probably in hardened tier. But I have noticed I've been playing with it just a little bit in Season 4 because the login rewards have been so good. And so certainly, if you're an Ultimate tier right now, certainly make sure you're logging in every day to get those login bonuses. But something else that's always useful, and it is assuming it's working in your game, is King the Ring. Just get yourself in King the Ring as much as possible, because it'll be levelling up your cards for starters, while you don't have to do anything. But secondly, it's the quickest way of getting some decent rewards. Now, it may be that you're not having much luck with King of the Ring. A lot of people, I'm not saying you have to do this, but a lot of people will perhaps choose one of their tag teams and put 2 commons or 2 uncommon cards in there. And that sort of lowers the overall strength rating of your team. But as long as it's keeping you in the tier you want to be fighting in, that sometimes gives you a bit of an advantage when you're coming up against other people. But don't tell them I told you that. Sharpshooter 1000. What kind of resources do you think you put into the game on an average week, both money and hours wise? Was it not Sharpshooter? Sharpster 1000. Sorry about that. In terms of cash, as most of you know, we don't tend to buy packs. Exceptions are birthdays and Christmas. So I think the last pack we bought on camera was an early Christmas present for Ninja Boy from his relatives. With their blessing, they asked him what he wanted, and he said he wanted to open a couple of packs. So he got that wish granted. But I have to say, I quite like the look of these 800 credit packs. We're not pack openers generally, so I can see a little investment happening on that front. But in terms of credits, pick doublers, I would say that's the thing that I do spend credits on. Now, obviously, we get some credits through the login bonuses, but not enough to fund every single event. It does depend on what's happening at the weekend. So, like with the Ringdom now, I've had a pretty hefty work week this week, and I've got quite a lot on this weekend. So I have bought some doublers here, and that's what, a £5 for 600 credits to get you those. So some weeks I will be spending a £5 on those credits, I openly admit, to help me get through. But as you all know, it takes time playing this game, and if you've got a family to look after and a job to hold down as well, you can't be sitting here 24 hours a day playing it. And that, I guess, brings me on to how many hours to spend on the game. Too many is the answer to that. I couldn't put a number on it. I mean, it's a couple of hours a day at least, bearing in mind you have cards to power up. There's not just events. In fact, it's got quite more time consuming, because on top of the general events, we've now got the PvP events, and those, a lot of the time, they're running in conjunction with the card events. And so if you're not doing one, you're doing the other. And you've always got cards that you need to be charging and levelling up. So, to be honest, I quite like a break. This is season 4. I'd quite like a bit of a break from it. So I guess the answer is too many hours. I would like to be not spending so much time on it. To help me with that, I do buy some pick doublers for various events. And there's no easy way around it, short of getting other people to play it for you, which is never going to happen. And I don't think I'd ever trust my account details to anybody else, to be quite honest with you. So you just got to get on with it. Get on with it and stop moaning, Big Jim. What's the next question? Thanks for that question, Sharpster. Ben Gleed. Well, this light's shining in my eyes. What was your requirement to get into Titan tier? Now then, Ben, it's funny you should ask that, because I was just looking through my pictures yesterday, because I do tend to take a lot of screen grabs of what I'm doing. And 14th of December is when I finally got into Titan tier. And I did take a picture of the deck, so hopefully I'll flash up on screen here now. But it was 4 Monster Pro males, a Monster, let's get this right, a Monster Pro female and a Beast Pro female, and 2 Titan support guards. I think they have an influence, I'm not quite sure. So that was it. It was oh gosh, who was it now? It was Sheamus. It was Sheamus was the main monster. There was Bray Wyatt and two Akams, two of the same flipping Akams, as the male monsters. And female-wise, it was Nia Jax Monster Pro. It was Nia Jax Beast Pro as well. So that's what, and that just nicked me in to Titan. That was just enough to do it. So that's what you've got to be looking at, basically, mate, if you're trying to head for that yourself right now. Next up, we have Adam Chapman. Have you heard about a possible new Fusion feature coming in the coming weeks? And he's also somebody who's suffering those PvP problems. Now, thank you for all of those of you who did. I will answer your question in a second, Adam. All of those of you who did leave your comments regarding your PvP problems. I had 4 times as many comments on that video as we normally get, and I don't know if those of you who are on Twitter will have seen I did tweet out some screen grabs of some of the comments from people, and I tagged in Cat Daddy. That's all we can do is just keep reporting these problems, and for me to, I'm not saying that they pay any attention to what I'm tweeting, but all I can do is just keep notifying them and tagging them into what I'm saying, and hope that they eventually get round to doing something. I have had a couple of people saying that they've received some rewards in the last few days and have even been put into a league finally. So if that's something they're slowly getting around to, don't know, but they're not telling anyone anything. That's the main thing. That's the main frustrating problem. Now, what was your other question, Adam? Or what was your proper question? Have I heard about, oh yeah, possible new Fusion? I've seen the video that seems or appears to show some sort of, well, it's not a glitch, it's a new way of the card proing itself. There's a new animation to go with it. What that means in the real world, who knows? Who knows? It just might be a new animation to go with the new fusions that we're going to get when we get Beast and Monster. I shouldn't think they'll do Titan straight away. We'll get Beast and Monster first. So yes, I've seen that, but what it means, who knows? Who knows? Right, Liam McAlexander. How do I stay on a team without getting kicked if I'm really busy? Well, I guess the answer to that one, Liam, is try not to be too busy, or always try and make an effort. More seriously, perhaps don't bother trying to be in a new team until you know you've got, you know you're going to be able to play the particular team event that's coming up. Get yourself settled in for a couple of weeks, and then obviously let the person who's running the team know that actually for this particular team event you're a bit tied up, because whether it's family, work or whatever. There's no easy answer to that, because generally teams want you to put in your best efforts. But if you've been with a team for a few weeks and you've done your best, and then for whatever reason you just need to take a bit of a break, then you've got more chance of them saying, okay, we'll carry you for this week, but make sure you're back next week. Whereas if you join a team and then sit there and do nothing, then I'm afraid you deserve to be kicked out, because you can't just join teams and expect to bank the cards and not put in any effort. And I know people have reasons why they can't do it all the time. As I say, just try and plan being in a team on a week when you know you can participate and take it from there. Right. Cameron Johnson is saying, do you think Road to Glory needs to be replaced? And if so, what would you have to replace it? Yeah, Road to Glory. Road to Glory. How can you replace Road to Glory, Cameron? How can you replace Road to Glory? I won't be able to do that anymore. It's a hard one, that. It's a slog, and it has been a bit of a bind trying to get, the page event card. It was only over the weekend that or just after the weekend, that I've got my Road to Glory deck into Titan tier. So for that page card, I was able to 1-point it virtually all the way through. And the whole event itself is a slog and very repetitive when you don't even have to look at what you're doing for the first few cards, because you're obviously playing decks that are a lot weaker. Having said that, it's actually quite an easy thing to do while you're watching a bit of TV or something, isn't it? Right, I'm just going to check something here, because I've had a notification come up about West Ham's game against Bournemouth tomorrow at the top of the screen, and normally, yeah, I thought that might happen. The wonders of modern science. As you've probably just seen, it has reduced the size of the broadcasting software that is showing you my screen from my iPad. So I'm just needing to resize that again. This happens all too frequently. I'm afraid there's no easy setup for doing these vids. You just have to do the best you can with what's supplied. Right, that should do it for me. Right, let's go back to these questions. Right, Road to Glory, yeah. I think the problem is if you replace Road to Glory with something that's more involved, and because like Ringdom, you really need to look at what you're doing and what cards you're throwing in. The problem with that is it kind of takes all your attention. Whereas with Road to Glory, you could sit and watch a film and you just quite happily tap and tap, tap, tap. And I think it's tapping frenzy kind of way, and until you get into the later cards. So although I do find Road to Glory extremely repetitive, on the plus side, it doesn't require much brain power until you get towards the back end. So, I would actually, would I make it a bit easier? I don't know, actually. No, you know, speaking of someone who, I mean, that page card is the first event card that I've got. I've not been in Titan on Ring Dommy Dim Dom, so it's been pointless me going for the singles. So it's taken me up until like these last couple of weeks to even be in a position where I could get myself an Event Pro, which I think is the longest it's taken me in WWE SuperCard terms. I suppose if I bought a load of packs and bought a load of Titan cards, I'd have got there quicker, but I didn't because I couldn't afford it. So I don't know. I think I'd keep it as it is, to be quite honest. I think I'd keep it as it is because, as I say, my worry is you then start bringing in things that are going to be far more taxing brain-wise, and this game takes enough of your attention as it is. Maybe if they replace it with something, I'd say bring it down to 3 days if you're going to make it something more entertaining, but more complicated. Right, any more? Ashley Stevens, have you got advice for a player who has not played in a long time? I don't know, actually. I suppose it's not really a lot I can say, because I don't know how much of the things that you've got are going to work and how many aren't. I mean, if your PvP's working, fantastic. Particularly when you get War Mode and Raw Rumble, they're great for powering your cards up and getting your points. There's some people are still having problems with their King of the Ring as well, including that second account that I mentioned earlier that I've got, Nkayoko. For some reason, King of the Ring stopped working in the last week or so. All I can say is it's down to you, mate. I mean, if you've come back because you're intrigued to see what it's like again, I think there's enough new stuff here to keep you interested. If it works, and it seems to be very much hit and miss with different individuals as to whether it works for you or not. So just see how you get on. Let me know how you get on. Well, I think there was one more question, which was Charles Guthrie, who says, I'm in Monster Tier and I'm already in Monster Plus in Ringdom. What cards do I need to get to play the event card? Do you mean to play for the Ring Domination event card? You obviously need to be in Titan Tier to get that. So I guess that takes you back to what I was saying previously with the 14th of December when I got into Titan Tier with those cards that I showed earlier. Well, in terms of Road to Glory, you can go for every card you want. I mean, if you're prepared to sit and absolutely slog through those later cards, I mean, what I would say is in Road to Glory, if you're not in Titan Tier, if you're in Monster or even in Beast Tier, but you intend to go for those event cards, you need to give yourself a good head start. You need to really start from the moment the event kicks off. But also, when you get to the point where absolutely nothing is working, you can't even win your 2 points no matter what you do, that's when you bring in your green team. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this method and seen it in action, and you probably employ it as well, but maybe some newer players aren't aware of it. As long as you've got 2 decent support cards that are deck cards, so in other words, once you've played it, it's going to carry on adding that stat to all your various matches. You get yourself a team of uncommon cards, and you play the 2-point matches. And what will happen is you'll be playing other teams of uncommon cards, but they've got normal support cards. Hopefully you've got strong support cards, either monster or beast support cards that are deck cards, that are giving you huge stat bonuses for every round, and that means you're going to win all your 2-point or 1-point matches if you've not used the credits, and get you through to those lovely Titans and Titan event cards. But it is a slog, I'm telling you right now, it is a slog, and you've got to be prepared to just stick at it. But it can happen. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. Unlike me trying to play while I'm talking, which is, I don't think I've actually lost a game yet, but this one's looking a bit dodgy. So there we have it. That's the Ask Jim questions from the last vid. And as I say, if you think it's something worth doing again in future, I'm happy to do that. If you think it should be a regular feature, why don't you put Ask Jim regular, or Ask Jim yes for just do it again, or Ask Jim no. Just keep it simple. Ask Jim yes, and I'll do it again in the future. Ask Jim no, and we won't bother. Maybe just found it extremely boring. Who knows? Who knows what goes on in your world? I find it extremely interesting, and I love chatting to you guys, but some of you may be like, just get on with playing the game, Jim, stop talking. I don't know. Right, we'll get to the end of this game, and then that'll be that, because I've got to go and pick up that ninja boy from his school. It's Friday afternoon, mid-Friday afternoon here in Londinium. I have messed this up, haven't I? Well, all right, come on, let's have a Sheamus on Sheamus battle. It is the Battle Royale. It is the Mohican Mauler who comes through. I've probably noticed all the monster images. I do not like those green images, so I've changed them. And anywhere that I could change the monster images, I've got proper pictures on. I don't like the greens. I do not like the greens. Right, there we go. Retrieved it. Going out on a winning note. I don't think I lost a single game then, so I think I've answered all your questions and have remained unbeaten. Even better. Right, there we go. Let's just do the quick picks. I'm certainly not due anything tier-wise, I don't think, here. But it would be nice to get a shard. Because I haven't picked a shard. Have I picked a shard? Oh, no. I don't like that. Charging business going on. You get that little charge card stuck in the middle, don't you? That gives a bit of an irritation. But considering all the other things that aren't working, I shouldn't moan too much, because in my account, I'm fairly lucky. My PvP's working. My King of the Ring's working. I'm working. Everything's working. That's the good news. And there we go, that's the last pick. And there we have. I better charge up some of these cards, hadn't I? In my team battleground. Right, there we have it, people. That's it for Ask Jim and today's other nonsense. If you want to see some more Ask Jim, remember, Ask Jim yes down below, or Ask Jim no, forget it, son. And of course, the usual request, please, if you like the video, bung us a few likes down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Why haven't you subscribed? Come on, it's worth it. We can do more of this together. There's all the other social media. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Twitter where all the banter is. And until I see you next time, you stay cool.